In the final decade of the 1700s, the Baptist movement was racing across a young nation. Empowered by the newly ratified First Amendment, guaranteeing freedom of religion, the church was on the move. And by 1845, so many Baptist congregations had taken root that the Southern Baptist Convention was formed. That same year, just months later, a small gathering of believers in El Dorado, Arkansas, stepped out in faith and planted what would become First Baptist Church of El Dorado.
The church had humble beginnings, meeting at the corner of Washington and Elm in the old log courthouse. 7 lay members and 4 pioneer preachers gathered there to form a church that would make much of Jesus and minister faithfully within its Baptist convictions. Could they have imagined that from a few believers in a borrowed courthouse that God would write a story spanning 180 years? By 1848, the church had grown to 28 members and built its first small house of worship. 2 rows of handmade pews filled the room, and services were held whenever a pastor could be secured. Even their first pastor, Reverend S.D. Worthington, shared his time with other congregations in the Liberty Baptist Association. 10 years later, God sent their first full-time pastor, Reverend William Johnson, who faithfully led the church through the dark days of the Civil War. From Union County, 1,500 men left to fight, and only 500 returned. Yet, in those difficult years, First Baptist held fast. Then came Reverend Everett, and later Reverend Hart, who served for 16 fruitful years. Under his care, the church grew to 129 members and became one of the first in the association to offer Sunday school, a sign of the church's commitment to train up its members in the faith.
By the end of Reverend Hart's ministry, the original building needed major repairs. Debate arose. Should they repair their current building or build a new one? Should they remain where they were or move to the heart of town on West Main Street? As voices clashed, one man quietly waited. When called upon, Brother Hugh Goodwin, who lived near the current church, stood and said, in Proverbs it reads, "Don't put a new patch on an old garment." Now it will mean that me and my folks will have a long way to go to church, but we will be glad to do it for the Lord. First Baptist's continual willingness to attempt great things for the sake of the kingdom paved the way for a new building at the corner of West Main and Cleveland, right on the corner where our sanctuary stands today. From 1895 to 1910, membership grew from 112 to 446.
In 1918, Dr. T.D. Brown became pastor. He expected to guide the church through the final months of a world war. What he could not foresee was shepherding a congregation during a time when the city itself would soon be transformed. El Dorado found oil, and everything changed. Yet even as the city boomed, the church's mission remained the same, to lift up the name of Jesus. Looking ahead to the needs of future generations, in 1922, Dr. Brown led the congregation to build the very sanctuary we worship in today. At a cost of $165,000, just under $3.2 million in today's currency, members gave sacrificially to construct a building of unmatched beauty, one that would indeed serve generations to come. Even the lumber from the former property was used to build another church in our town, so that the kingdom continued to expand. Throughout the 1920s, this beautiful sanctuary became a vibrant place of worship. By 1929, membership had reached 1,115.
Over the years, God has provided faithful shepherds for his flock. Under Sam Reeves, the wings of the building were expanded, and yes, even air conditioning was installed within the sanctuary. Under Pastor W.W. Wormuth, the church purchased the property where the Child Learning Center now stands. Dr. Don B. Harbuck, who pastored from 1962 to 1983, led a full renovation of the church and oversaw the installation of the stained glass glass windows. Dr. Harbaugh worked to emphasize the beauty and meaning of this sanctuary, creating a brochure that tells the whole story of each window and commissioning the one-of-a-kind pulpit still used today. Faithful pastors continue to lead as one millennium closed and another began. Mark Coppinger and Floyd Lewis guided the church through the 1980s and 1990s. Lynn Worthen led us into the 21st century, followed by Matt Pearson and most recently Jonathan Kelly, whose ministry here was marked by faithful shepherding and by guiding us through the unprecedented days of a global pandemic. And so, from a log courthouse to a wooden chapel to this magnificent sanctuary, one story has remained the same. God has been faithful, and His church has endured.
Today, as we sit in this sanctuary, we do so on the shoulders of those who came before us. As we remember the legacy of the past, we carry on their mission into the future. The history of First Baptist Church of El Dorado is still being written. Lines, paragraphs, and chapters are added every day. And while we've named some of the pastors who have led through the years, the real story, it's written by each and every member, both past and present. Because at the end of the day, the church is not a log courthouse or a wooden chapel or even this beautiful sanctuary. The church is the people. And through the men, women, and children of First Baptist Church, the story of God's faithfulness continues. Even now, we watch as God writes more history before our eyes. And so as we celebrate 180 years of God's grace, we look back with gratitude, we look around with joy, and we look ahead with faith. And for all of it, we give God the glory.